Good morning. I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. You can tell I'm in my mobile studio out on the road. It's very fun, mysterious. Today we're going to be talking about the Clark Aeon Closed RT. Not to be confused with the Aeon Closed first generation. This is actually a second generation. RT. RT means retuned. I don't think I've seen any videos on YouTube that are just reviewing the Aeon Closed RT. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and let's talk about some audio. Coffee's not very good. Okay, so I looked at these for the first time. These came out, I don't know, 3 years ago. And they were first branded under the Meeker Speakers. They were first branded under the Mr. Speakers brand name. Now, they've since changed the name to, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get the light just right. And trust me, it says Dan Clark Audio. So they rebranded themselves. Why? I'm not sure. But they did. These originally, and not these originally, these are the RT retuned. The Dan Clark Aeon Closed originally cost like $900. They were very expensive. These cost $500 new. The only place you can get these is on Dan Clark's website. These are the Aeon Closed RT. $500. They're planar magnetic. Planar magnetic, if you don't know anything about that, instead of having the traditional dynamic driver that most people are used to, they have it's kind of an array of planar magnetic drivers. They're very good. Planars are really good. We can talk about that later. They're very, very, very good. I think you get more clarity out of a planar than you can out of a regular old-fashioned dynamic driver. $500 though, Randy, that sounds like a lot. It really is. And I really had a hard time pulling the trigger on these. But when I took into consideration that this was kind of a $900 headphone in its time, for the most part, it got really good reviews. And that it had been retuned to address some of the negative reviews that it had gotten as far as bass response. And treble response. A lot of the reviews on the original Aeon Closed were that it was kind of a boring sound, kind of flat, not enough bass, not enough punch, not enough shimmer. It wasn't trebly enough or bassy enough. I like trebly. So anyway, they redid it. I got these kind of in the middle of COVID. And it took forever. I was getting kind of irritated because I placed the order, and of course it said they were in stock, ready to ship, and of course they didn't. And it took like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was getting really mad, and I started going back and forth, and I started thinking, am I gonna cancel my order? I almost did, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off, and I'm glad I did. I mean, were they knock me over the head incredible headphones? Kind of. I mean, they were really good. The other planars that I have experience with are the Audeze or Audeze, however you want to say it, Audeze or Audeze, I don't care. Audeze LCD-1, which is just a bad headphone for me. The design is bad. It like sits like this on the head, so you literally have as little surface area as possible touching your head. This has a comfort strap. When you do this, yeah, a whole bunch of it touches your head. Anyway, I cannot say enough negative things about the Audeze LCD-1, from the way it fits to the ear cups smashing my ear to their lack of being able to change out the ear pads, to their customer support not even selling me the ear pad frames so I could build my own ear cup. Oh yeah, they sound horrible too. But people will have you say, or people will have you think that no, I'm the wrong one. They're supposed to sound good. And I will say, after about 3 or 4 songs and my brain getting used to the muddled, flat, ick sound, that I did hear some detail. But then I'd stop listening to them and I would go into the world where sound does not happen like they do in the LCD-1. And then I'd have to listen to 3 or 4 different songs before my brain would reset, until finally I was like, I'm returning these because these are horrible. I felt like I was being told what to like with the LCD-1. Yeah, I'd have them here and show you, and I'd say these are garbage, but I returned them because I wanted my money back to buy something that I didn't hate. I'm glad I got the Dan Clark Aeon RT retune. Maybe I'll talk more about the LCD-1. The other planar magnetic headphones I've had are the Deconi Blue. It's a Fostex T50RP mod. Deconi is also an earpad manufacturer. That headphone, a very, 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 very good headphone, in my opinion. I think they're about $220. Sometimes you can find them on the used market. They still sell them though. I think they're $220. I think that's a great value, very good value. Now, bear in mind, if you get the Deconi Blue, you're gonna have to think about a headphone amp, probably a pretty good one. Not necessarily expensive, pretty powerful. So Deconi Blue, I also had the Monoprice M1060. It's an open back headphone. I have the Monoprice M560, closed back. This sounded very similar to the Mostec, the Monoprice or Monolith M560 after I modded the M560. So we're gonna have another video about that. Let me just sum it up. They sound great. They sound very good. They have punch and they have clarity, and that's what I like. And they have detail on the top. The mids are clean. I don't necessarily care about, especially on a closed back headphone, I don't really care about soundstage and all that stuff. And as far as imaging goes on a headphone, that still kind of escapes me. So when I'm looking at a headphone, punch, clarity on the mids, and clarity and sparkle on the top without being overbearing in one direction or the other. So balanced. Here, I'm gonna go. I want it to sound like a Metallica concert. I don't think that's too much to ask, right? Because that's obviously how Metallica wants this music to sound to the audience. I would say Metallica's music is punchy and clear. That's why I don't get these headphones that have like this weird responses. Okay, so when you get these, remember they're $500, only available from Dan Clark Audio. And that's probably why there's no reviews, because no one has any incentive to sell these because they don't get any commissions off them. But I don't care about that. I care about you. I care about you knowing stuff. All right, they come with these. What are these? These are things you stick in the ear hole. They come with these. Some of these are very, very thick and dense. See, I have hair on them. Someone's DNA. Could be me. Could be my wife's. Could be someone's DNA. I don't even know. All right, so they have obviously four different inserts that you put in there like that, and you shove it in. All right, what do? They attenuate some of the frequencies. What does attenuate mean? It means block. So Dan Clark started his career as modding the Fostex T50RP, and I don't think many people would argue that one of his versions was very, very good, very, very good headphone. That he took another headphone, just made it better. So the point is, he knows what he's doing, especially with closed back headphones. I will say these closed back headphones seem just about as wide as some of my open back headphones. I also have the monolith M5. I don't know. I'll have to look. What is that? M560 something. 565. I can't remember. Anyway, this is the most balanced planar that I've had. It's perfect for me. And I actually, last night, I was listening to all the different inserts on it, and I used to listen to the one notcher. So if you look at the top, these have one notch put out of them. And I think these were the ones that came in there out of the box. So I used to listen to the one notcher, and it sounds good. It sounds really good. It's not too bright. Good bass, good mids. But last night, I actually just took them out to see. Because when I was going through all these, my brain was getting kind of confused about what it should sound like again. So I just pulled it out to see how it sounded. And I kind of liked it with none of these in there. It was more trebly and less bassy. But it was enjoyable for me. It wasn't too bright. It wasn't too fatiguing or anything. And I think that leads me to this headphone's biggest, strongest, most obvious point. Is if you get this, you're not... You know how, if you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about getting different speakers, different flavors. So get a laid back, or warmer speaker. Get a brighter speaker. Get something in the middle. Get a fun speaker that throws a bunch of soundstage. And if you get them at an affordable price, and you have the room, then you can just switch speakers out, and then you have new flavors of speaker. Then your brain resets, and when you bring the other ones out, it's like having another new speaker. Everybody loves new speakers. Everybody loves new headphones too, right? So, in essence, you are getting 4, if not 5, and I'd argue 5 headphones out of these, because you can use one of the 4 included inserts, or you can include no insert, like I did. And I think that's pretty cool. Most of you, if you do get these, you'll probably settle in on one that's your favorite. But switch it up. Even if it doesn't sound good. Maybe it's supposed to sound good, like an Audeze headphone that's supposed to sound good but really doesn't, until I'm sick of the gaslighting and return it. All right, this is the cable. Pretty cool cable. So it has it's kind of like a mini XLR. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, there's 4 pins on each one. This is like a quick release. So you got to kind of slide it in there, put it in there, and it'll pop. If you get it out, pull it out. The cord's nice. I don't really care about cords. I mean, if the headphone sounds good enough, I mean, really, get over the cord. I mean, people make a big deal about the cords. It's a cord. Get over it. However, at $500, you probably should expect a decent cord. And I think it's a decent cord. It also has 3.5 and then the adapter right on there. Now, as far as... I know they're 13 ohm resistance. Let me see what their sensitivity is. Sensitivity 93 dB. So some people find this hard to drive. I don't know. I've driven it off of this, which is the Earstudio Mark II, Earstudio M100 Mark II. I've driven them off of this. This is the SMSL SP200THX. They both do a good job. I had these on high gain. I mean, it'll definitely drive them in low. I just drove them on high gain just to have a little more headroom, whatever you could call it. And they both work. They both sound good. It's a very good sounding headphone. It's very well built probably the best built headphone that I own. Has this cool wire, has a very nice comfort strap. It doesn't move around. It's not loose. These don't collapse. There is a second generation that does collapse. But again, they're like $800, $900. Carbon fiber on the side. Why? I guess to cut down on a 1/4 of an ounce of weight. It's very important. Carbon fiber. I don't know why. It looks kind of cool. The ear pads are kind of perforated. They're not perforated at all. I thought they were perforated. They're not perforated at all. Ear pads. So if you're into like switching out ear pads and stuff, this is not the headphone for you. Why? Because they're like an ear-shaped ear pad. I will say though, this is one of the few headphones out of the box that doesn't like touch my ear and drive me crazy. So this one fits my head very well. They're quite big and ridiculous looking. Would I wear them on a plane? Heck yeah, I would. Because I don't care what people think of me. I care about good sound. So, they're built well. They sound excellent. They sound refined yet fun. They have 4 different inserts that you can change the sound to your liking. I don't know if they have an Audeze crappy insert. And I'm glad they don't, because they don't sound like Audeze. They don't. If I had to say what the closest other planar headphone that I had that they sounded like, it'd probably be the Tacony Blue. However, the Dan Clark is more refined. If you're just trying to get into planar magnetic, I would look at the Monoprice I think 560 closed back. It's wooden, with a caveat though. Just don't get that and listen to it because it sounds crappy, just like an Audeze. I would get it and then modify it, and I'll do a video on that. It's not hard. M560. Oh, well, that's even a different one. I think it's 565. All right. Anyway, I'll do another video on that. If you're thinking about it, I mean, $500. It's a lot. I'm not going to link to it because you can only get these on Dan Clark's website. I'm not going to link to the first generation either because I don't think they're as good, or from my reviews and my research, they're not as good as these. So if you want to get them from Dan Clark, $500 in California. They're built really well. I think they have a really good warranty as well. Or you can buy the first gen used. But again, they're not retuned, so I don't know how good they are. Or you can buy the second gen for like $700 or $800, which I wouldn't recommend. Again, this is barely worth $500. I mean, like if you get into like the monolith planar magnetic headphones, you may get 90% of the sound and like 30% of the build. This you're getting extraordinarily build and great sound and a good warranty. And it's not saying Monoprice doesn't have a good warranty, but you have to do things with Monoprice headphones. I have yet to have a Monoprice headphone that I've gotten out of the box and just been like, oh, this is perfect. With the exception maybe the 1060C, but I didn't particularly care for the 1060C's sound. Like the other headphones, the ones I really do like the sound, I'm having to kind of bend things. The M565, I believe, that I modified. I had to modify the ear pads. These, you just get them, open the box, and put them on. And I will say, they do recommend some break-in. Right out of the box, I thought they sounded phenomenal. Good bass, and then good highs. So, with that said, I hope you enjoy this video. I should be back home tomorrow night. Very excited. Because I have the Fluence reference bookshelves coming in. The Clips R51Ms coming in. Just got the Sony Core series. So we're going to do a sub $200 speaker shootout. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, also I have the Polk S15 and the Polk T15s. Just laying around at the house. We're going to throw them all together. Throw some broken broom handles down there and let them fight it to the death. So anyway, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Please subscribe.